Joanne's back in London to visit the doctor with Natalie. She's plugged up enough courage to leave her dad behind, but she's brought her mum instead. Dr. Pixie McKenna is a GP with a special interest in eating problems. She's analysed the results of Joanne's blood tests, and while Joanne prepares to get the results...
This is Dr. Pixie.
Hi, Joanne. Nice to meet you.
Her mum settles into the waiting room outside.
I was just wondering how you feel on a day-to-day basis. Would you feel faint or dizzy?
Around about dinner time, can start to feel a bit dizzy and
right,
yeah.
You feel weak. Would you ever get sore mouth or very tongue?
Yeah, I do get sometimes like the middle of my tongue really sore. Even when I have a drink, it hurts sometimes.
Have you had any problems with your hair?
Yeah, it doesn't grow very much. It does grow, but...
Does it grow long?
No, I've never been able to get it long again.
Right. When we looked at your blood results, it doesn't surprise me at all, the things that you're complaining of. There were two things that came up. The first thing was that your red blood cells were very, very fat. And the reason for that is you're lacking in vitamin B12. I suppose I was nearly falling off the chair with surprise when I looked at the next result, which was that you're deficient in protein. That's quite a serious thing. You have to have protein to survive. If you ever look on television at kids who are starving and they have the tummies that are bloated out, that's because they're lacking protein, and it's a sign of malnutrition. So it's quite a frightening thing.
Proteins are the building blocks of our bodies. They're made up of small components called amino acids. These form in a long chain to create a protein molecule. Protein is involved in every life function in the body, from carrying oxygen in red blood cells on the inside to growing hair on the outside.
What we really need to give you a feel for is what protein and B12 deficiency could be like for you. I'm going to do a little experiment. Follow me. I'm going to hand you over to Bella, who's going to transform you into the future. Don't be nervous.
Pixie's medical makeover will show Joanne the impact protein and B12 deficiency could eventually have on her appearance. Meanwhile, Natalie wants to give Joanne's mum, Carol, a makeover too, but of the dietary kind.
Carol, I know that you are 100% behind Joanne in changing her diet. And I've got one favour to ask you, and that is for you all to eat exactly how Joanne used to eat for 3 days.
Right.
Is that something you think you could take on?
I can't imagine myself having a plate of potato for my tea. It doesn't really bear thinking about.
Do you think it's something you could do?
For 3 days, if it's going to help Joanne, yes, I would.
Carol may have found Natalie's request surprising, but it's nothing compared to the shock Joanne's about to get.
Are you ready to see what the future holds?
I think so.
Take a long, hard look in the mirror.
Oh, my God. It's horrible.
You've got all the side effects of B12 and protein deficiency.
I look really old and scabby lips.
And nice hair as well, eh?
Yeah, the hair's probably one of the worst parts, so I'd have to wear a wig.
We've done this, Joanne, to illustrate to you that 10 years down the line, this is perhaps the way you could be looking.
I don't want to look like that at all.
So a lot more incentive to change your diet then?
Yeah.
Good.
I feel like this has answered a few questions in my mind. Like, I hadn't seen anything going on because obviously, like, the protein and the blood cells are inside. So, like, you can talk about that as much as you like, but I'm just like, oh, yeah, it flies over my head. But when it's the appearance, if I'm walking down the street and, like, everyone can tell, that's, like, it's had a wake-up call of, I don't want to stay like this. I need to change.